It's not a slow boat in China anymore. It's sitting at the San Diego.
All right, it's 8 o'clock. Let's call the meeting to order.
8 o'clock. There you go. Perfect.
Wrong time zone.
It's 8 o'clock somewhere. It's good.
I'm in New Mexico somewhere.
I think you
Celebrating.
gotta go
No.
farther. Okay.
12 o'clock.
You wouldn't be celebrating this.
You're in
No,
Hawaii.
I'd be celebrating.
You're in
No.
Hawaii.
Yeah, Hawaii.
4 hours, Hawaii.
Good move, man.
That'd be fun.
I'll go with you.
Let's go.
Okay.
Mike's?
Please call roll.
Larson.
Here.
Black.
Here.
Blair. Brandy.
Here.
Peck. Orkin.
He's here.
Elm.
Here.
All right, do we want to move down to
Please move to Nancy.
Nancy? You're up, honey.
I just want to say thank you for letting me do this. I'm sitting in the parking lot of the McDonald's in Morris, Minnesota. So, I do appreciate you taking the time to listen to our proposal. You have a handout that talks about a rental increase proposal for Sunshine Terrace. The last rental increase we did was in 2018. If you look at the second page, we do have 64 rental apartments, 2 efficiency, 35 one-bedroom, 24 two-bedrooms, and 3 three-bedrooms. And right now, a couple of them are used either by REM, which is the mentor network, for them to have an office to work with their clients so that they have their own space. And then one of the efficiencies we do use for an office. The other thing is that they are currently, the current rate, rental rate is listed at the top of the first page. And we are very much under the payment standard used for housing. So what we typically do when we do a rental increase is we look at what our current rents are. We visit with housing to see kind of what their rental standards are, their payment standards, what they would be paying if they were providing assistance. And then we do comparables with the apartments in the East Grand Forks area. And as you can see, we have Brentwood Estates, Green Acres Apartments, and Town Square. And a majority of those are, they do accept housing assistance. So we like to use a comparable for someone that uses housing. And as you can see, other than Brentwood Estates, our current rental rates are noticeably below Town Square and below Green Acres Apartments. So we're proposing to up the rent for the year 2022. What that would do is we currently have 52 people that live in the apartment with housing assistance and 9 pay full rent themselves. We foresee that number staying the same in 2022 based on what we've received from the Northwest Minnesota Housing. So we don't foresee it being a huge increase to the renter themselves, but it would more closely match what they are currently paying in other locations similarly for housing standards. So Linda, our housing manager, prepared these documents, and she had proposed a $30 increase, but I would think that we could probably go up a little bit and still stay below what the other rents are at Town Square or Green Acres. So we could do something such as a $50 increase across the board, or we could do a staggered increase. Something similar to like $25 or $30 for the efficiency in the 1-bedrooms, $50 for a 2-bedroom, and $75 for a 3-bedroom. So that's kind of our proposal at this point, and I'm just going to open it up to what your thoughts are on the process.
Dale?
Nancy, the question I would have is, in this day and age, what kind of a hardship or whatever are we looking at putting on these people? I agree we probably need to do something, but how many of them would it really affect?
9.
9 people?
Yes.
It wouldn't affect them to the point where they'd have to move out, would it? Or would it not?
More than likely not. I can't guarantee, I don't know. I know a lot, they're all senior disabled. So it would depend on if they're receiving any increases from Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security. It may be a hardship, but the ones that are on housing assistance, housing would just pay more.
Right. I guess that would be my only concern is that, because it is all seniors
Yeah.
and retired people and we all know that, even Social Security, you got to raise there, but
Right.
but Medicare ate up most of that and probably more. So I don't want to see I mean, I don't have a problem with going up a little bit. I don't think we want to get too carried away, is my,
Right, do we have anything in there for increases percentages per year already?
We do not.
Is that something we should maybe do so it
So
ain't
you
a hit?
could set it at a percentage as well. The one thing is that it does get costly. We do repairs as much as possible. So when someone moves out of an apartment, we replace the carpets and linoleum
Yeah.
with the laminate flooring. We are required, because we are a HUD or a senior and disabled, we're required
Sure.
to meet reasonable accommodations. So we do replace toilets. We do cutouts and tubs for those that are in a wheelchair. We replace doors. Those types of things. So we are trying to meet the needs of the residents there, and as the costs go up, it does cost more for the city to pay for those types of items that we're needing to provide. And we want to provide a nice apartment building for them,
Sure.
something that they're proud to live in, not just not replace things.
yeah, that would be the next thing on how much money we get from the state or whatever, if there's money coming in to help make those repairs and stuff, or
We have
There's no other
nothing.
money coming in.
nothing?
Nothing.
No.
No other
nothing.
money
No.
coming in?
No,
Okay.
no. And
The only money we
we,
make
required
is
to make
from
those
rent.
repairs according to the
Tenant's
guideline, the
needs.
HUD guidelines. So if there's a reasonable accommodation, then the city actually has to pay for the modification of the tub. We don't get any money for that. They have to make the modification for the doorway. They have to make the modification or replacement of the,
Yep.
and that
Okay.
doesn't come from, the client or the tenant or the state. It comes out of the pocket of the city of East Grand Forks. And I know Nancy, and I've had a number of conversations regarding this. I understand your concern. I just look at things a lot when it comes to dealing with these issues. Is at some point in time, I understand we're the city, but if we're going to be managing these things we should be
treat it like a
managing it
business.
like we own it, like
Yeah.
we're private. We're private,
Like a business.
and we do take very good care. If you've ever gone over there, and I did it recently, that building almost looks brand new. It's not been run down. It's not, every time we turn around, we're upgrading it, and that's at the city's expense. So it's been a long time. If you were going to ask me, I think these increases are a little bit low, the request, but
Is it something they got to write a new lease after this, once this is decided?
are you asking me?
Yeah.
No, we don't have to do a new lease. What we would do is we would have to give notice of it according to the lease, and I think it's 60 days notice or something on that line we'd have to give to the individuals regarding an increase.
so it wouldn't be till at least February 1st.
Yes.
Okay, the other thing is, just to pitch in, is that, we have elevator repairs, and they're costing more and more, and, we have them checked all the time, where, in the past, they weren't doing that as much, but there's a guideline, is it every year, every 6 months, and they are getting more costly, elevator inspections and repairs.
Go ahead, Daniel.
Well, so I mean, the cost here, so I just want to make sure that I understand it. I mean, the cost increase that we're looking at, that extra money is basically to make these accommodations. I mean, we're not keeping the money and putting it into a separate account. This is an investment back into the property
Right.
for the people
No.
that are living there? No? What-
No.
So what are these gonna, I guess, when I see the $26,000 per year increase, what are we doing with that? I guess would be my question.
We put it aside, if we have additional funds, we put it aside for things like boilers. We replaced the roof. We've got some work that needs to be done on the side of the building. It goes towards those types of improvements, such as new flooring in, like the community room, those types of things. Right now, because we have, just the amount of things that cost, we sometimes are running in the red
Okay, so,
at the end of the year. So this isn't something that is making a profit for us. I'm
Okay.
just trying to keep it so that we're kind of net zero at the end of the year.
Right.
no, and that makes sense, and that's what I was getting at, is so it's reinvesting back in a property that we own, which makes a lot of sense.
Right.
And, you know, like Ron was saying, running a business, that makes sense. We're still gonna be right in line with most of the apartments, if not a little bit lower. I guess, part of my question is why are we looking at this now? Why aren't we looking at this every year? I guess would be my question. Shouldn't
That's
this be
why-
something that we should be
That's why I was
having on our
going,
agenda?
that's why I was going after, let's do it like this and then do a 3% every year in the contract.
Well, and right now, $30 on 600 is, you know, that's that $30, you know, that's 5%. So I would be much more in favor of a percentage-based, say, 6-7%, whatever that number is to get, and then as the number gets bigger, they should pay more.
Right.
You know, their increase should go up. I don't believe in a flat $30 across the three segments.
And inflation's at like 6.8 last time I
Well,
checked.
and that was the other
August.
thing
Yeah.
too, and that's why I think we need to look at it every year, because, I mean, we're seeing an increase in building cost repairs. We're seeing
it's not
an
coming
increase in
down.
inflation. It's not coming down, it's only gonna go up. I mean, and if we're really gonna run it like a business, I mean, if the last time we looked at this was 2018, we should be looking at it at least every year.
And I have no issues with that. I've just never been asked to bring it back. We, you know, so we've kind of been on a 3 to, 4-year cycle of every 3 to 4 years we look at what our rents are, because for some people it's hard for them to figure out a rent increase every year. But I'm comfortable with whatever you guys decide, because then we can I sit down with the residents, we do a resident meeting, and we kind of go from there. It's just more what you're comfortable with so that we can present it to them.
I think the responsible thing would be is to do the percentage like you're talking about, but we need to evaluate what percentage it's gonna be every year at a particular time, because, I mean,
Yeah.
it should be based on, well, what are we seeing with trends in the market? What are we seeing in terms of building repair costs?
Well, like-
And what are we seeing in terms of inflation?
It's this year alone is 6.8. We haven't done it for 3-4 years.
Right,
And that's why I think we need to do a percentage every year.
yep. But we also have to consider too, we don't wanna price ourselves out of the rental market either. I mean, that's the other part as well. I mean, it could be people that start jumping ship and going elsewhere, and then we don't have that income coming in. That's why I say we should look at it every year.
Yeah, so maybe what you want to do is set a percentage this year,
Yes.
and then I bring it back in October of next year, or September, kind
Sure.
of right around budget time. We can go through where we're at and what we want to budget for the following year.
Yep. So somebody want to make a motion on a percentage for this year?
That's a good question.
So the $35, that's where we need to start with what's that dollar amount, and then we can back it into a percentage. I think that's,
Well, on the 2-bedroom, it's 5%, so
Yeah.
735, or, at this point, you could just say 35 for all of them, and then we're going to look at a percentage next year, whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
I think we should do that.
I would be happy with the 6%.
I think it'd be nice maybe to do the same, say a certain percentage, but the same dollar amount of increase per unit, so that somebody's saying, okay, mine's 35, but mine 42. So
Right,
then
but
everybody
they
is
have
like.
a two-bedroom apartment, I mean, that's
Yeah.
Right,
justifiable.
I know, but yeah, it might, I don't know, Nancy might be able to answer that, but it might be
Yeah.
easier to just say, everybody got an increase at $35
And
instead
I agree
of,
with that, with her going in front of them residents like
Yeah.
that in this go-around.
yeah.
Everyone would have the same percentage.
You could just
Yeah.
go in and say everybody's getting a 6% increase too. I mean, what would you prefer, Nancy? You're the one that has to sell it, I guess.
It's really not that hard because everybody that rents a two-bedroom is renting it at the same price.
Right.
So if I say 6%, it does make sense to me at a percentage that a three-bedroom would be paying more. They have
Yeah.
more space.
Right.
It costs us more to replace things in a three-bedroom. So
Right.
I don't mind a percentage,
Okay.
and I don't mind explaining a percentage.
I like that.
I think, I mean, I'd be comfortable with 5 or 6% across the board for this coming year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that 6 works.
6, is that a
I'll make-
motion?
I'll make a motion that we
I'll
go
second.
6% across the
I'll
board.
second that
This-
motion.
This year, or 22, next year, I should say.
Then we revisit every year, though.
Yeah,
Revisit
right.
every year.
Okay, roll call?
All right, first of all, Larson, you did this, who did this? I know he made it.
Dale made it, I second.
You did, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Larson,
Yes.
Black,
Yes.
Grandy,
Yes.
Corkin,
Yes.
Helms,
Yes.
motion carried.
Thank you, Nancy.
Thank you guys so much. I'll get you the information so at least you have it, what it's going to cost per apartment and kind of how the meeting went. I'll get that to Paul so that you have that information, and then we'll revisit it again in the fall.
So are we looking at February 1st?
February 1st,
Okay.
yes. If we can get everything out by December 1st.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nancy.
All right, let's, approval of minutes from October 26, 2021, regular meeting.
I'll move.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
And the other? Good. Bills and communications. Review of accounts payable November 2nd, 2021 and November 16th, 2021. Any questions? Concerns?
Just real quick on the apartment stuff, when we're talking utilities, are utilities included in the rent for
Right
that
there.
apartment complex?
No.
Well, I see we're paying utilities, but I just didn't know if it was included in their rent price or they're paying separate utilities.
I think
we
we're
know?
paying, I think.
We pay the utilities.
We pay their utilities
Yep.
through their rent?
Yeah.
Okay. That should be something that we should consider then too
Well,
for the
because
future.
that's, correct me if I'm wrong, Ron, but that was just voted a 2% increase, wasn't it?
Is that-
For the water.
For water and light?
Electric rates were.
Yeah, for
2%.
next year.
Yeah. So
So
there's,
that is something that we should probably think about
Yes.
in the future too, is if those are going up, that's coming out of the rent too, that should be a consideration as well.
And we can look at this, see what the difference in the
Yeah.
rate, difference in what we paid for utilities, which of course will vary depending on the weather, but you have a good,
Right.
estimation.
and we don't, any other questions on that? On bills and payroll? Reports, delinquencies update.
None.
You just love that now, don't you?
It's a nice answer, isn't it?
Yes. Financial reports, October 2021.
Thank you. Everybody was emailed by fund, the activity in October, and there was nothing unusual. Rent was collected, bills are paid, and then you were also sent a cash value for each fund. So if there's any questions on those
Questions
or
for
any more
Carla?
information you like on that or not like, so.
No,
let me
looked
know.
good to me.
Look good, yeah, easy to follow, I liked it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carla, good work.
Thanks, Carla.
Directors' reports, October 21. Property tax rebate program update.
Well, I gave you a general report, and I included a little bit more information on particular things. Property tax rebate program, the materials were prepared to extend the program for another 5 years. I've been to the school district, Polk County, after the city approves it, Polk County, I will take it to Polk County and they will approve it, so this will be extended to homes built through December 31st, or not built, ready for occupancy as of December 31st, 2026. Now, the way it works is that those homes will take 3 to 5 years before
They come on.
before the property tax rebate program will end for that particular home. The first year, a home built in 2026, in 2027 will be taxed at non-built value
Oh,
because the home wasn't done yet.
sure.
The first year it can be taxed at full value, be 2028, so it may occur then, people pay taxes, they get a rebate in 2029, whereas the second year they get it in 2030. If that doesn't occur that quickly, just extend it 1 year. So it's a commitment for almost a decade for us to extend this for 5 years, but it's a decade from now as opposed to it only be about 5 years beyond what our current commitment is.
Sure. Anything further on that? Question?
Questions? This has been a popular program. Remember we talked with the realtors?
Yep.
They said it was the best thing. Transportation infrastructure meeting, I'm working with the chamber. We are actually going to meet on December 2nd. And with the ARP dollars and with the new infrastructure bill, there's an opportunity that may be unparalleled to get things done that are high needs and can reduce our local dollars to get them done.
Right.
So that's what we're pushing to get it done. It's an unparalleled opportunity to get some of those things accomplished. So we're really pushing to get it done.
And part of them is not our ARPA dollars, some of them are competitive dollars, and I just got information on Friday that they're actually looking to help transportation and maybe bridges for communities between 50 and 200,000. So I know when we met with the MPO board that they're like, well, who's to say they're going to give us that much money? But, and my point was that they also talked about collaboration in the same amount with the 50 to 200. And I know when we looked with the state for the interconnect between our wastewater with Grand Forks, and the state of Minnesota was so impressed that we were working outside of the state, we were working collaboratively, that they gave us half of the money to pay for that. We got a $5 million grant to do that, which was unheard of. So, we have a lot of pluses there because we're working with the county, we're working with Grand Forks County, we're working with the city of East Grand Forks, and we're working with both states. So if we get pots of money from everybody, then it's not a burden on anybody either. So we're really working, Paul and I are working hard on doing that.
Questions? Just a quick update on the USEDA and EDA and DEED programs. We haven't got any news. I haven't seen anything on the USEDA programs. DEED has proceeded with its lottery for its Main Street COVID relief grants, and what they're doing is reviewing the successful recipients now to see if they can receive the money, because there are some qualifying standards they have to meet. DEED has also granted funds to organizations offering assistance to businesses. SBDC over at UMC received some dollars out of that program as well. The Rural Child Care Initiative Program, RCCIP, the team met with representatives from the organization, from First Children's Finance. We identified dates for meetings in January. We're looking for any additional members on the team as well. And we have received the memorandum of agreement for approval, which is on your agenda as a later item today. And we're moving forward with the request from R.J. Zaverill and Sons for use of Border Cities tax credits, and the City Council action is scheduled for December 7th.
Any questions? Thank you, Paul. Unfinished business, none. Forks lot purchase proposal.
Forks Builders wishes to purchase 4 lots for their program homes, which means it'll be a 4-year program. That means that as we draft the agreements with them, we need to address the fact that it goes beyond the 2-year period that we currently have in place for building the homes. But they were looking to take the program, their request otherwise falls within the parameters of the multi-lot discount program that we have offered. In addition, they've asked to take advantage of the $1,000 down program, which we allowed for the other lot that they built, and they also want to have access to a $100,000 program. Ron and I have talked, we believe that we should restrict no more than one of those loans to them at any one time, because the program's available for others as well. We don't want to tie up all the dollars into one. We know that they'll only be building one at a time, so that should be able to fall into what they can do as well.
Typically, they don't have a hard time selling that house, so.
That's right. In addition, what we need to do today is make a motion to approve that with the restriction on the number of $100,000 loans they can have at any time, and an extension to accommodate the program for when they can
I agree.
build it.
Question. I'm okay with the fact that they want to, it's great they want to take 4 lots, but I wonder if we should have something in the contract or somewhere, someplace that says that if for any reason at all they don't fulfill this project and they only take 3 lots, say, then they pay back is that in there?
Well, actually, what they do is they're required to buy all 4 lots up front with that $1,000, and then there are also guarantees that are signed by the Forks Builders Association that says if we don't close on this, they're responsible to close on it. So you're protected as much as possible in that fashion. But I could look at that.
I just want to be sure, and I don't think we'd have any problem with Forks Bet, but I want to be sure that we don't run into the same trouble we had before where somebody goes and buys 3 lots and decides that, oh, heck, I don't want these 2 now, and then we end up getting them back. Maybe we could have sold them to somebody else in that meantime that they had them.
Sure.
I just don't want to see that happening anymore.
Where does this put you on inventory, Paul, if these 4 go up there?
We should have about 35 left.
At Water's Edge?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's one at Coulee View, one.
What's that?
Buy the last one at Coulee View. There's one left.
Where?
Next to Josh.
It's the
I
one on the
already
corner
made an
right by you.
offer. Well, we got to change the
Show me the money. Show us the money.
change the covenants.
You know the right people,
Gail,
don't you?
we're going to get to a little bit of that when we get to number D as well.
Okay.
Item D, reversion policy.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Vote and everything.
Yeah, that's all. I just wanted to make sure.
I think it's a good
Basically, do
program.
we want to get the lots back?
Yeah.
That's what the key question is.
Yeah, I think it's a good program, 4 years, 4 houses. Yeah. I think it's a win. It's I don't see any issues with it, so I would move to approve it.
Or is that a, yeah, I'm taking out of your
Yeah,
motion
yeah.
right now.
Is that a motion?
I'll
Do you
second.
want to include, you're okay with the verbiage? No?
Yeah, I think we can get that. I think it'll all be ironed out
Okay.
good. I mean, like I said, I'm not too worried
So
about
motion
Forks as
by
I would
Brian, we
be.
need a second.
I'll second.
Call roll, please.
Larson,
Yes.
Black,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
motion carried.
RCCIP MOA.
It's a memorandum of agreement that talks about how how activities will occur. Remember, there are no dollars involved. When they come into town, they even pick up the expenses for any meals, any food, or things like that for people. They're just going to try to guide us through the process, and so we can get this done, and this is just the agreement to get it done. It's gone through legal counsel. Legal counsel proposed one change, and they incorporated that change. It has to do with records retention, right?
Data practices, yeah.
Data practice, yeah. It's different words, same thing. So we
Any
recommend approval.
I will make a motion for approval.
I'll second.
Call roll, please.
Larson,
Yes.
Black,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Morgan,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
motion carried.
Residential lot. Revision of policy.
It's the reversion policy where the lots revert to us we have the right to exercise a reversion on any lot that isn't built on within 2 years. And we've been getting into a little bit of that. Do we really want to do that and get lots back to resell them? Or do we want to push that over onto the buyer, make sure the buyer knows that they are at risk and that they have to fulfill their part, or they have to find someone else who's going to build on that lot?
I'd like to see it on the buyer.
I was just going to say that I think it makes sense to leave it on the buyer because, I mean, when
We
look at
already
that
were the buyer at one time.
Yeah, when we look at the maintenance list of keeping up with those lots, I mean, I don't know if anybody's looked at that line item in the budget, but as we've sold lots and they've gotten off our books and there's somebody else's lot, that's starting to go down. I mean, so, you know, our cost on this is only
Declining.
getting better as far as I'm concerned. So, I mean, I don't really think, I mean, I don't mind having the right to repurchase, but I'd much rather leave it on the person who bought it originally and let them deal with it if we have something in there.
If we retain the right to repurchase, that has to go into the deed. Okay, and the question is really, do we want to continue that in the deed or just forego that for residential lots only? This does not include industrial or commercial lots, only the residential lots.
Do you see anything, Ron, that would?
No, actually, and I think I've kind of said, why are we doing this? We don't want to be in the residential lot selling business. I don't know of anybody that truly puts a reversionary clause in there that says if you don't build on it in 2 years, we have the right to buy it back. And whether they sell it to somebody else, I don't see an issue because they're not going to be able to buy it, turn it for more than we're already selling our lots for, because there's going to be one right next door that's the same price, right? So that doesn't make a lot of sense. I think this first came about regarding, well, I know it first came about regarding the industrial lots that we have, because we wanted to be able to continue to control at least who we would offer lots to build in our industrial park. We wanted to know the businesses that were going in there, what type of business, and do that, and not be able to have somebody buy up, because it was done in the past, 2 or 3 of those lots, and then we have no other lots for sale, and then turn around and sell them off to somebody. So that was the main reason for it originally, and then it just kind of somehow got transferred over to these residential lots, and it really doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It also makes it, I shouldn't say difficult, but putting a reversionary clause in a warranty deed does make an issue for releasing that at some point in time when somebody else is buying it, or they're selling the house, or those types of things when you do a title examination. So that would be my recommendation, is there's no reason for us to hold on to those. Once they're sold to somebody, they own them, and then they have to live with their transaction.
And Ron and I agree on this.
Is that going to be a problem with the prior people that's bought them, what they had to build on them, but in 2 years, if people buy it now and they don't build on it for 4, 5, 6 years, sits there? Is that going to be an issue that, well, we made them build on it, you know?
Not from my standpoint. I mean, it's not like you set precedents that you did it. And primarily, a lot of that, it was, we were selling them to developers, and then the developers were building, and then they were building stick homes, right? And we wanted them to be, since we were giving them the option to be able to do it, most of these homes are already sold right now. They're just being constructed by a developer.
And financially with the city, we're happy to sell the lot and get the special assessments paid for.
Certainly.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have a home and then get them onto the tax rolls, but, you know, this actually has helped us immensely by being to pay off our specials.
Yeah, and they do go on the tax rolls anyway, at least at improved lot values.
So I would make the motion for the recommendation with the part that this only applies to residential lots, not to industrial. That's the only change I would make in that, so that's my motion.
I'll second.
Call roll, call roll, please.
Larson,
Yes.
Black,
Yes.
Rennie,
Yes.
Wilken,
Yes.
Dolly.
Yes.
If I can make a comment, Mr. President?
Well,
Regarding that 2-year time frame, if we're going to enter into one of these building incentive programs for the builders, we can control the timing of the building in the development agreement. So if there's a developer that turns around and says that they're going to buy it, we say it has to be constructed within 2 years. We can control that. Otherwise, they need to give us our money right away. And again, then there's personal guarantees or guarantee by the builder on that.
motion to adjourn.
But we're not going to talk.
We're not gonna talk about your
the
picture being
beautiful
at the end.
We got another
picture.
page here.
Motion to adjourn.
How do we get
Everybody-
the camera to zoom in on that?
Everybody sitting here would like an autograph.
That will cost you.
What was the
I was thinking that he put on a clean sweatshirt.
I was trying to be politically correct, and that gets hard for me when my blood pressure goes up.
You did a good job. You did.
Thank you.
I'm glad you
I
kept
have
it clean
suggested
now.
to department heads, if, we talked to the water and light meeting now, transformers are 100 weeks out. So we did talk at the department head meeting yesterday. I heard there's a problem getting like chlorine for pools and stuff, so.
100 weeks out?
Yeah, 100 weeks out for
I'm
transformers.
getting phone calls now from businesses that were coming in and putting in space heaters everywhere. Rooftops are going out, and they're minimum of 15 weeks out.
Roof
So
insulation.
electric baseboards, can't put in baseboard heat?
Well, yeah, you gotta have fan forced and keep it moving.
Well, anyway, I did, say that to department heads, that if you know that there's supplies that are gonna be hard to get, and say, like even for the swimming pool, because I know, I've heard some hotels are having problems getting chlorine for their pools and they're not keeping up with it, to purchase them now if you have leftover money, or do it right away in January, just so that we are not short of items.
All right, I
Well,
move to adjourn.
I'm buying 6 tires this afternoon because, brand new ones, because they're short, and if I don't have tires for my bus, I'm in trouble, so I'm buying them, putting them in my
And they
warehouse.
went down in price too.
Yeah, and they're not
Hanging
gonna-
out there, Dick.
I know. I already made the motion, so I'm just waiting for somebody to second.
Actually, Ben seconded.
Yeah.
Oh, did he?
Oh, for adjournment, no. I'm sorry.
I don't know,
You
it
made the
looks like he's
motion
ready
to
to jump
adjourn.
at the
Favor?
heat.
Aye.
Aye.
Who seconded? Ben? Okay.
Ben.
I've never.